Good morning, my beauties. How are you all doing out there in the world? Wherever you are listening from today, I would like to say thank you for joining us today. And today I'm very, very, very blessed to have the lovely Rosemary Cunningham with me. And she's joining me today as my guest speaker. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Bex. Lovely to meet you properly in person at last.
Lovely to
Great to
see
be.
you too. How are you doing on this rather chilly day?
I'm really good. Excited to be here. Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to have you with us. Please tell everyone out there, all over the world, they're all listening in, who you are and what you do.
Lovely. Thank you. So I'm Rosemary. I'm living in Essex. The River Thames is down the road. I live in a place called Leigh-on-Sea, and for anyone in the States, that's where the Mayflower was originally built.
Nice.
And I've got a real affinity with the States. I'm going to Tucson in January. I got a hit and a meditation about 2 weeks ago. Tucson, the 15th of January. So I got in touch with my colleagues there because that's where I did my business and money coach training about 10 years ago. And I'm going back to co-host a course about spiritual money.
How wonderful. And what's Tucson like at this time of year? Do you know?
According to my phone, it's about 27 degrees.
Oh, yes. I love that. That'd be
Yeah,
a really nice respite from here.
exactly. I mean, my friends tell me they don't go out for 3 months in the summer, but
Wow.
it's my friend who I'll stay with. She's got a garden full of cacti, and it's just glorious. One of the huge cacti like that is across the road, and you can see the birds nesting in it. You can just
Oh,
it's just
lovely.
so different. Yeah, when I was doing my coach training, trained with a woman called Kendall Summerhawk, and by some amazing coincidence, I found a course she was teaching about healing your money mindset. And I can remember signing up for this thing and sitting under an umbrella in Cyprus. I'd managed to manifest a 5-star holiday with a friend. And we were sitting on this tiny little beach, just the two of us. And I started to listen about this. And I can still remember how I felt as a healer, lifetime healer. And I'd been a nurse, and I'd spent probably 25 years at that point helping people heal on a couch using bone therapy, reflexology, massage, aromatherapy, all these good things. And I just started doing my coach training. And I was looking for something different. And this money mindset stuff found me. And it was just, oh my word, this is so powerful. Because what I've realised, this kind of sums me up. I'm told my emanation is peace. That's what I'm here to do. And I remember having a little download when I was somewhere else absolutely wonderful in Arizona a few years ago. I was in a place called Boynton Canyon, which is in Sedona. And I got to Sedona and I thought, I've got to see this place from the air because it's these amazing, beautiful, big red rocks. It's such a powerful place. It's full of energy vortexes where the veil between the worlds is really thin, and you can have the most incredible experiences. And it's like everything's catalyzed. Everything happens really fast. And so I knew I needed to see this place from the air. And within an hour, I'd been offered a free helicopter ride. Yeah. And then the lady who I went to book my free helicopter ride told me that she'd been to this place called Boynton Canyon, and there's a male rock and there's a female rock, and these aren't just rocks, they're massive, And she said she and her daughter had gone there. Her daughter was visiting her from another state, and they thought, which rock should we go to? And they'd been attracted to the female rock. And they were sitting on this female rock. And her daughter was saying, Mum, I'm really ready to meet my life partner. Oh, where is he? I'm really ready now. Come on, bring him on. And Mum said, I love living here. I want to buy a house here. And within a very short space of time, daughter had met her life partner, and Mum's neighbour sold her a house for $4. Yeah.
For $4?
$4. Yeah. I can remember this so clearly, and I wrote it down. I've got to write that down, whatever her name was. I wrote it down. It was so clear. And so I went off to Boynton Canyon, right? And I went there a few times. And I went to one of the rocks. I couldn't quite work out which one was which, but one of them a really powerful kundalini kind of energy. So I guess that was the male one. And sitting there one day, I got this feeling, I just got a download. You're here to help people find peace inside, anytime, any space, any place, anywhere. And I've still got that book. And I bought it in an airport on one of my travels, one of my transfers home from Tucson. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people find that inner peace. So just to say, I spent a lot of time, even when I was a nurse, I used to help my patients be calm. They'd say I'd admit them as a 20-year-old student nurse, and I'd ask them their questions, and we'd have a gentle kind of giggle, and they go, "Oh, I'm in safe hands." It was one of those things, and that's something I ended up saying to my students yesterday. You are all a safe pair of hands, and your clients want a safe pair of hands. It's like you. I felt safe as soon as you invited me to be on this podcast. I'm in a safe pair of hands. So when we're in our essence, when we're really doing what we come here to do, we are a safe pair of hands for the people who are ready to work with us. And that's probably from a contract from another lifetime, one of these soul connection things. Yeah, so that really came up for me there. And I remember thinking, I want a bit of this. I want to come back here too and have a house. So when I've thought of my big vision, it's always been on this rock in Boynton Canyon and you look out and there's this beautiful expanse of red rocks and forest, and there's a hot air balloon in the distance. Wow. And then I extended that to being in this house with this man who I haven't quite met yet, but I kind of know he's there for this next phase of my life. It's not that he's that far away, and we've got a house together. But now I know, and there were 3 women coming there to do a retreat with me in my home. Yeah,
sounds lovely though.
I know, and he was bringing us coffee in the garden, and there was the water feature and these kind of things, and hummingbirds, very important, hummingbirds. So this has been my vision, and all that beautiful emanation of peace. And what I've realised in the last few years was, first of all, peace for me has been really, really challenging. Been a total recovering people pleaser. Just to show you, my main money archetype is a nurturer, which means we have a tendency to nurture everyone else but forget about ourselves in the mix.
That's the problem with nurturing, isn't it? You do, especially as a healer and as a carer, as a supportive person, you tend to give it all out and never remember to give it back to yourself or to take it back for yourself.
Yeah, and the actual learning to receive is enormous, particularly for women.
Yeah,
that learning, okay, and it's not selfish for us to receive. It's enormous for us. Yeah. So, and I realised only this year, really, that I've been working with an incredible woman called Mother Malia, and one of the things she said was, as women particularly, and also particularly as British women, it's quite a British thing too, but a lot of people have, particularly my American friends, maybe they've got British heritage or they've been brought up by people with British heritage. We as women have been taught to keep the peace, whatever form that takes for you. So it might be keeping your head down, not saying too much, not being too much.
Holding your tongue.
Holding your tongue. There's a lot of history on witch woundy stuff. Yeah. And now the time, particularly for people who are waking up on the planet, the people who recognise as light workers, light leaders, starseeds, a beautiful filter for us going forward is, will this decision, will this thing I'm contemplating, will this thing I'm wondering whether to keep in my life, or even this person, because we all have choices, is that going to help me keep my own peace?
No.
Or am I going back into a habit of keeping the peace? And even in the last few days, I run a group called Winning Women, which I basically took on as a franchise in 2013. It's a business women's networking group, and I had it for Essex, and then it's now international. And I've been running these groups, and there were 2 groups that just weren't feeling right, and then there was that, is this keeping my peace or am I keeping the peace? And it was such a good filter for making a decision and going back to the people who were involved and saying, honestly, can we be really, really honest about this? Do you feel this is working for you, and will it work for you going forward? It's okay to say no, it's not. And with all of them, we just made a decision, no, it's time to stop. And
Yeah.
it wasn't, I can feel it in my body now because it's not comfortable, but it's time for us to get comfortable, or at least get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Which is a term that comes up quite a lot at the moment, because I think that we need to feel that discomfort to break through those patterns, those boundaries, those barriers that we've put up, that have been put up for us, and so on. So I agree completely. You've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable for your better good, for what is best for you in the long run, because you are right. We do, as women, find it very selfish to take care of ourselves. We really do. And it takes a lot of almost like remapping your mind, doesn't it? To try and turn that narrative around and say to yourself, no, I'm okay to do this. This is safe. I am safe in my own hands. I am safe.
Yeah, I am safe, yes. And I think one of the biggest lessons at this time also is to learn that we can trust ourselves more than we can trust anyone else. And I
Which
think
is a
that
hard one, isn't it? Trusting yourself so wholly that your instinct is right, your intuition is right, your gut instinct is correct. Anything that you sort of receive and download and hear and kind of pick up on those signs and those messages, they're all correct as well. That's a really hard concept for us, isn't it?
it is, and some of it is being very careful where we put our time, our intention, and our consciousness. And I think the consciousness thing is enormous. Can I just say something? Would you write 80-20 down for me? We'll come back to
80-20.
that rules. That where are we putting our consciousness? If I sit there and I still do it, that mind numbing scrolling, which affects us on many, many levels, that has off for a lot of us become our default way of relaxing. Yeah, right. Or even for me now, I love a good drama on the TV, but sometimes I'll think to myself, why am I watching this? Because the
Yes.
message is awful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And as, empathetic people, sensitive people, we feel all of that as well, almost as if it belongs to us. So you watch these dramas and you watch these tearjerkers and everything else, and before you know it, you actually really feel those emotions and wonder why you're having a bad day.
exactly. I remember once my sensitivity comes out in my skin. So I get eczema, and during lockdown and up until very recently, this part of me here was scarlet, and the itching was insane. Drove me bonkers. And I worked with an amazing woman called Dawn Luke a few years ago, and she asked me to basically ask my skin, particularly my face, what it had to tell me. And there was one night where it was driving me absolutely bonkers. It was glowing and itching and just, even sometimes it even starts weeping, but that's another thing. And I sat with it, and I sat up in bed and I got my pen and just, what's going on? And it was pure anger. It was absolutely infuriated. And eczema means to boil over. So
Okay, I
often
didn't know that.
there's Greek apparently, and it's like we push down, push down, push down, push down, push down. And for someone, and I've seen it in friends of mine, it will come out as epilepsy.
Oh,
One of my really difficult childhood, and then it was the night of the big storm in 1987. Her neighbour found her wandering around her garden, and she'd had her first ever epileptic seizure. But I knew what had happened to her, but she told me she got really badly burnt when she was a baby. And all this, and then there was difficult family stuff, and that kind of thing where, as a woman, or as a child,
the
you
pressure
can't,
cooker.
yeah, you can't be angry. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Don't you? Or I'll give you something to cry about. This kind of stuff that was handed out like sweets, basically. And I was born in 1963, and I can remember some of that from my really very loving parents. So it was normal behaviour. Oh, for me, sitting there listening to this skin, I realised I'd watched 3 films in very short succession where women were completely put down, maligned, exploited, humiliated, and I was absolutely seething about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for me, what I can do is I can write a letter. Okay, so sometimes I'll write to my skin, I'm so sorry you had all this to put up with. I really hear your anger. God, it's awful, and really get into it. And then sometimes I'll sit there and I'll receive a reply from my skin. And just if this is sounding attractive, you can write a letter to money and you can receive a reply from money. You can write a letter to your business and you can receive a reply from your business just by sitting there. You write that letter and then you stop, and then you put, "Dear Rosemary," and then you wait and you see what comes. So I did this with my skin. It's such a powerful process. You just need to breathe and be quiet and allow and not judge what comes through. And with the women thing, there was something I on my TV just shows up the most amazing stuff for me. Sometimes there was a film, a John Wayne film, which would have been 1950s, 60s, which would have been watched by millions of people, where the women in that were ritually humiliated by their husbands, and then it was turned into a sexy thing. And I was, what the hell? And the amount of people who would have gone to the cinema and paid to watch this, and it would have been idolised. And that's our grandparents worldwide.
Yeah.
This is the kind of imprinting we've had put on us as women, that it's okay for men to really humiliate. I mean, someone's feeling like, well, this doesn't happen now. Maybe it doesn't, but this is the imprinting we've had, and this is what's casting off. And for me, it comes up in my face because it's made me do something. And when I started my groups, I didn't even really realise why I'd started them. I'd had my own business since 93, and I started a massage business because the only place you could get employment to do massage was on a cruise ship.
Oh,
And the money
really?
was all, yeah, back in the 90s, yeah. General massage therapists don't get employed by people. You're self-employed. So I had to go self-employed. So I started my business within months of leaving college. And and then I started various support groups for the therapies I was doing. I think we had an aromatherapy support group, we had a Bowen therapy support group, and we had this group called the South End Holistic Society, which is where I met some amazing women who really talked me off the ceiling a couple of times. When the crazy things that happen when you're a young female and you start a massage career, it's some bonkers things happen usually. And so I started this networking group because I'd gone to one in London, and for the first time I'd felt I could be me. It was called London Heart Centered Entrepreneurs, and it
Okay.
was that
Heart-centered. Love that.
heart centered bit. And the guy who was speaking on that night was talking about accounting from the heart.
Wow.
He said he was an Australian man and he was a fashion designer, and he turned up in this most amazing 3-piece suit he designed and made himself. And it was basically a really long floor-length kilt and
Okay.
with a 3-piece. It absolutely stunning. And he was saying the stuff he'd done as a human was phenomenal. And he'd come to Europe to start his fashion business. But he said he'd fallen in love with the double entry bookkeeping. It really excited him. And one of our accountants was the same yesterday. And they are the people who do that stuff from the heart, which is why it's so connect with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I started winning women, it wasn't from a place of anger or anything like that. It was just from a place of to meet clients. I just started my coaching business and I wanted to get people into my world, who I could really relate to and probably want to work with me. But I've realised over the years, it's really been my values about having choices. And one of the reasons I haven't got children, though I always thought I would, was I never met someone who I thought I could actually wake up with in 10 years' time. And that's one of my criteria for being in a relationship. And I did not want to do co-parenting with someone who I never wanted to see again.
No, it's
Now, if you
completely understandable. Yeah.
There you are. And so, but I could see, I think one of the things when people come to a female networking group is it's a very, very safe space. And because I'm a nurturer, I create the most incredible safe spaces where we feel safe in a safe pair of hands to talk about what we do, to be open about it, not worry about people in our lives criticising or judging us, and that all starts with us anyway. No one can judge us unless we're judging ourselves. But that's a big thing, and to be in that safe space where people kind of understand what you're doing and get you and will give you that support and also believe in you until you can believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody messaged me yesterday, or the group I'm handing my groups over in January anyway, but she came to my group on Tuesday, and I just felt so inspired when I left, just to be in a group with other women. There was about 17 there who are all doing something they're really, really passionate about.
It's quite
And
powerful, isn't it? That female, that feminine energy, when everything is in alignment and you're all there supporting each other and everyone's got each other's backs and there is no judgment. It leaves you with such an uplifting feeling. As you said, it's completely inspirational. It really, there isn't many feelings I can compare to that.
mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's important. It's important just to have those choices, I think, and having choices is just so important to me. And I think that's it. When someone starts their own business, then you're creating your own choices.
Yeah.
You're money, so you've got that ability to not have to check things out with somebody else all the time. And I just couldn't survive like that. I'm far too independent. That's why I've needed to live by myself for a long time. I think I'm ready now to have someone in my life, because I think I'm so much more caring and loving and accepting of myself, and I'm in a very different stage. But and I think when you're younger and for me, I was making decisions from the basis that I really wanted a family. So that's interesting criteria, isn't it? But then I've kind of created a family. Winning Women is business networking groups can seem like another family.
Yeah.
Because it's got those things things to it. Yeah.
And breathe. So go back to what you were saying about your the money mindset. Um, you were describing it at the very, very beginning when you kind of had this download of everything making sense to you. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, sure. So money is just an energy, and it will only take up what we project on it. So what you see and feel about it totally comes from you, and what I do comes from me. And it's the most judgy thing on the planet. I think we judge money even more than we judge probably how someone brings up their children.
Yeah.
Breaks up more relationships than anything else as well, whether it's business relationships, partnerships, anything like that, largely because of the judgment. And I think what I got was I just got this deep understanding of how even little things were making such a big difference. Um, and also how different we all are as well. Is when you look at these archetypes, I've only got one card here, but there's 8 of these cards. And this is in the public domain as well. You can go and do this quiz. But when I work with people, I go really deep on it. And there's so much. There's a whole kind of 6-week plus course around this where you really get to understand yourself deeply and really heal those things that are maybe you've inherited. So, for instance, one of the things I do with people is I get you to answer questions like, my mother thought money was, or thinks money is, if you like. My father thinks money is. And you get answers like, money grows on trees, or my mother thinks money is really, really scarce. Or um, my dad thought money was to do good with, and he gave it all away. And then money, kind of, your parents are almost like your first gods. So if you haven't got, substitute any other male or female figure that was there at that time. Might be a grandparent, might be a teacher, might be someone in the church who told you how evil it was, or that good old quote from the Bible, that misquote from the Bible about rich men being more difficult to enter the kingdom of heaven than a camel going through the eye of a needle, isn't it, that one? All those things that get quoted out and out and out, and your little child's brain is like a dry sponge.
Yeah.
So everything we hear when we're little gets absorbed into that sponge, and even if you aren't aware of it, that's your subconscious, and that's still telling you what to do. That's kind of, I think it's 80 or 90% of what we do comes from our subconscious. And so when I work with people, and you ask those questions, like in my family, money causes, and it could be conflict, it could be suffering, it could be big arguments, whatever it is for you. Then that really brings that stuff up to the surface, and often we're not really aware of it. And just the awareness of what's going on in our subconscious is huge, because then if you physicalize it, you write it down, then you've seen it as well, you talk about it, you hear it, and then when these things come up, you're having that chat with your mum and she's looking at your lovely new boots and going, how much did they cost? That's probably triggering you as a little one. And our little child in us is still in charge.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely still in charge. And the analogy I always bring up for particularly us here is, mummy, can I have an ice cream? Can I have an ice cream? The ice cream van's outside. Well, a bit like Father Christmas. Have you been a good girl today? You didn't put your toys away, did you? Do you think you deserve an ice cream? Yeah. And particularly for a sensitive, a more roughy-tufty child will go, whatever, maybe. But particularly a sensitive child, and I can remember an incident with my mum where she was angry with me and my sister was on this side and the little girl from next door was on this side. And mum came in and she was really steaming with what we were doing. We were playing a game she just didn't think was right. And I can remember being thrown against the wall by this tide of mum's anger. And she was the most important person in my world. I had to keep her happy.
Yeah.
Notice that? Her happy. So I had to keep her happy by eating my food, not saying anything out of line, not being cheeky. And it felt like pure danger if I didn't do that, particularly as an empath and a highly sensitive child. And that stuff really gets stuck in your body and that becomes your default reaction. And at the moment, if anyone's feeling this right now, this is all coming up. It's come up massively in a big way in 2024 because it's stuff that isn't to be taken into this beautiful new age with us. And so we have to have that awareness of it so we can feel into it, understand it, heal it, leave it behind, or at least be so aware of it. I mean, and this year I have to say for me, oh my goodness, my rejection issues have come up hugely. I've noticed sometimes if I've offered someone a program or something and they've come back and said, oh, it's not for me at the moment, I can go into freeze. Just totally.
Just from that rejection.
Yeah. It's like physical, it's in my body, it's completely immobilizing. And my assistant Anna will see it in my face. She said, Rosemary, you're doing it again. But it's because if I'm doing it, so are a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then these are the kind of things that I now will talk about in my lives, in my business, in my blogs, particularly going forward, because I'm a channel. I'm someone who often sees and experiences things and makes sense of them in a different way to a lot of people. And it is the time to share that stuff so somebody else can go, oh my goodness, that's me. And if it's happening to Rosemary, then maybe it's okay that it's happening to me as well. And I can acknowledge it and then I can get some help with it, whatever. Just that acknowledgement and then we can give that little person that self-love. So even yesterday morning, I was going to do my teaching and I could feel the anxiety in my body. And so I sat little Rosemary. I've got a picture somewhere next to me. So, okay, come on, what's going on? And then I could put my arm around little me and I can just say, it's okay, we've got this. we've done this before. They're lovely women. They really want to be there. They want to be with each other. They're going to have the best time, and we've already set our intention, so things will be good. And then she'll kind of go, okay, all right, we've got this, and we'll walk down the road hand in hand. But another thing I will share, that setting an intention is gold dust. So anyone who's worked with me knows about claiming your day. So this is one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned. This comes from an amazing woman called Dee Wallace. And if you've ever seen the film E.T., she's the actress who played the mother.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's a channel. She's a spiritual leader. She's now about 75. She does a show 9 California time, 5 p.m. UK time, every week of the year. If somebody else does it. Was on Blog Talk Radio, but she's so committed to her mission and her audience. And she's a channel. So I've gone to work with her. I've stayed in her house a couple of times and done this conscious creation course with her. And she says, if you're in a bit of a pickle, she'll say to you, have you claimed your day, Rosemary? And it's, oh, no, I haven't actually. And so claiming your day is to tell your higher self, and also your reticular activating system, which is this little tiny, apparently, bundle of nerves in the bottom of our brain, which is our filter. So your reticular activating system is like your body's kind of filtration system. So at the moment, I'm surrounded by stimuli. I've got things everywhere. I've got things going on inside my head, outside my head. I've got all the different colours. I've got someone in the van outside. But that reticular activating system needs to be directed. It needs to be told what to focus on. So it's focusing on me and you, which is partly why I'm speaking slowly today. My energy is very deep down in my body as well. I've kind of put my energy down lower in my body, kind of around my womb space. So I'm in my centre as well. And what you do then is you claim. I claim today is joyful, peaceful, fun. Today I'm meeting just the people who could do with my help at this time, and I can be a blessing to them and their business. And I also claim that this podcast with Becky is going to unfold with joy, ease, and grace, and we're both going to have a time, and it's going to be just what her audience want to hear for the right people. That kind of thing. That's quite long. Yeah, did we get what I'm saying? So I've told my brain, my higher self, my little reticular activating system, this is what I want to experience today. So it will actually go out there and it will show me stimuli that confirm that.
That's aligned with that thinking, because you've already set that intention. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Absolutely.
And do you change it? Do you change it depending on what you've got going on each day, or is it kind of like a standardized intention?
I don't always remember, but sometimes I'll get to 4 o'clock and I think I haven't claimed my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, because of who I am, today is joyful, peaceful, fun. And if it's a kind of a working day, I'll introduce you know what, may I be a blessing, and may I attract just the right people into my world today so I can help them in their business. And send me some 5-star clients as well, please.
Yeah.
Just to say, the other thing I've done really successfully, Dee always says, if you're travelling, claim your journey. And
Okay.
she travels a lot because she still acts. So she flies all over the States acting in different places. But for me, it was 2017 actually. I was going to work with her, and I was going to Arizona, and I live, there's a station down the road that doesn't have a lift. So I set my intention. I claim my journey is joyful, peaceful, fun. I'm going to sit near nice, helpful people, and safe as well. It's going to be a safe journey. Thank you. And then I'll say, thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, so be it, so be it. It is done. Right, so it's decided. Then I can relax. I know that my drive, my flight is going to unfold because it's already been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you end up in a traffic jam. It's just, okay, I've sorted it.
Yeah, exactly. The traffic jam's for a purpose. There's a reason for it.
There you are. And when I went down to Devon last time, it was when it had snowed. And I came off the main road, and there was just snow all over the road and abandoned cars. And it was just, okay, come on, lot. But we've already claimed it, we're okay. And then just gently moving forward. But when I went to Arizona and I'd claimed that for my journey, I walked out of here with my suitcase, went down the road, got my ticket, got to the top of the stairs, and the man said to me, "Oh, can I carry your case down the stairs for me?" "Thank you, that's really kind." A lady came along and said, "Can I carry your bag for you?" And it was, "Thank you," because I'd got 3 pieces of luggage, and they were all really smiley and nice. And then this other guy came along, "Shall I carry you down the stairs?" And it just totally showed me what I'd done. I'd claimed, and they were laughing. So I had 3 people laughing with me, offering to carry me down the stairs before I'd even left Essex, right? And so I share this all the time, and you can teach your kids to do it. You can claim an exam, joyful, peaceful, fun. It's going to unfold, and yeah, bringing your higher self, and then you can just, kind of. I was given a vision once where I was on a cloud, and I fell. I was encouraged just to fall back, and there were 2 people or beings who just took my arms and just gently took me back down to horizontal, and then I floated away. And I think that vision many years ago was just, "We've got you, we can
Yeah.
hold you, please ask," because apparently we can't be helped unless we ask. But when we do, and we allow ourselves to receive, oh my goodness, the bounty is infinite, isn't it? And I'm a work in progress.
Oh, but we
I'm sweet.
all are. And that's kind of the theme to my podcast is we are ever evolving, ever learning, ever curious. And we need to continue on like that. And I love that we're all a work in progress all the way up to the very end.
Yeah, and then next time properly as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. No, I absolutely love that. And you're right. It's kind of like the old saying of if you don't ask, you don't get. Universally, it's not so much about if you don't ask, it's more a matter of you need to say it aloud. You need to make it known what it is that you need, what support you're requiring, whether it's financial, whether it's abundance, whether it's love, whether it's just support in your movements and your plans and your journey. But you do have to verbalize it out loud. I think for yourself as well. It's not just to say it out loud. You need to know what it is that you need to move forward with, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. One of the most amazing books I've ever encountered about money for me, and probably your audience as well, it's called It's Not Your Money. It's Not Your Money by Tosha Silver. There were some phenomenal books came out in 2019 about being empaths, a whole lot of them, mainly written by women. And this is about it's actually about surrender. And the thing is about it's not your money, it's God's money. And we get on very into this contracted state around money. It's my money and I need more. And the whole essence of this book from a woman who was a terrified child. She was a New York Jewish lady and who'd grown up hearing things about the Holocaust and all that stuff. And I've got American friends. I remember sitting in the car with some of my American colleagues who are all about my age, now in our 60s. This would have been about 10, 12 years ago. And they were saying that they'd grown up with parents who always had a packed suitcase on the top of the wardrobe just in case
Just in
they needed to.
case. Yeah.
And that's the emanation of those people who brought them up. One of them, her parents had actually met in a concentration camp. Now they both survived, but they'd met there. And same with Sonia Chiquette as well. Her mum was in a concentration camp. She's one of our current spiritual leaders who's about the same age as me. So there's and once again to the asking thing, when you've been taught as a little child maybe that it's not everyone has, but it's not okay to ask, and asking for more food. And well, I can vividly remember being at a friend's house, and I was always allergic to sugar, so we never had sweet stuff. But when I used to go to a friend's house, I'd eat something, and they had chocolate biscuits on the table, and there were some on a plate, and I had one. And I said, "Can I have another one, please?" And they said, "Oh no, there's only one each." And I can remember feeling so awful that I'd asked for an extra chocolate biscuit and I
Yeah.
couldn't have it. And that's my that was me at that point, but there was something in me that, and I had the most loving parents and grandparents, but there was something in there which it was really frightening to ask. And even if this isn't you, if you're listening, it may be your parents or your grandparents. And I really think some of this is actually on our DNA as well.
Oh, definitely. Definitely been there so long, it's almost ingrained into the DNA now.
Yes, and as you asked about the money stuff, the fears around money are much of the same. So it's so good to just explore what you've heard about it, what you've seen about it. And one of the gifts I've had in the last couple of years, excuse me, my mum died in 2015, but I got to spend quite a lot of time with her brother. He was about 4 years younger than her, and I used to go down and look after him so my cousin could go away. And he talked to me about my grandma and my mum and how carefree my mum was until she was about 16, and also how anal and snobby her mum was. And putting it all together with what I knew, I now know my mum was absolutely terrified of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is something that's come up for me. This is a question my mentor asked me. She said, because that thing about me with my mum, and I'm asking you if you're listening, just to relate this to your own life. When my mum came in and she was so cross, my little girl became very scared of getting it wrong because it felt really, really dangerous. And then a lot of my life decisions have been based around, I might get this wrong. And then we don't make a decision.
Well, then the fear holds you, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
holds you
yeah. And that
back.
absolute fear of getting it wrong. And also, what is it? I'll come back to that. I've gone blank for a minute. Yes, it can really hold you back. And then we just don't make decisions at all.
No, and I feel that there is a lot, unfortunately, of this sort of generational passing down of that. You get it quite a lot in the previous generations. Bless their hearts, it's not their fault, it's what they were passed down as well, isn't it? Of very much, you bring something to your parents, your grandparents, you say, I have done this, I'm going to do this with my life. And probably up until, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, it was always kind of, as you said, it's this fear of like, oh, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to do this wrong. They're going to tell me it's the wrong thing to do. It's the wrong thing for my path, even though I feel like it's the right thing for my path. And you seem to spend a lot of time listening to everyone tell you why what you've chosen or done or what you're wearing or who you want to marry is the wrong thing. And you just build up this constant fear and doubt and kind of imposter syndrome within yourself. And it's very hard to be able to walk away from that completely scot-free and just say, I'm letting it go so much that I am free and I am comfortable with my decisions and I don't care if I make a mistake because a mistake's all part of it. And it's so hard to let that go. And I feel really sorry for all the generations prior because they definitely had it worse as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing is that can come with age as well. I can remember my mum getting to probably late 50s, and she just didn't care anymore about certain things. And it was so liberating just to see her. My dad had become a minister when he retired, and she'd sit in the back of the church and do her French homework. And that was really something. I'm not sure she'd have done it if her mum and dad were alive. But also something I've learned recently from a friend who's a feng shui expert is apparently, according to Chinese astrology, from February this year, 2024, for the next 20 years is the age of the mature woman.
Okay.
Right, and that doesn't mean 50s and 60s next. Apparently in China that means quite young, and apparently I think what I was looking at yesterday, that can start from age 30.
Okay,
But
yeah.
in essence we're seeing of women, and if anyone saw that incredible young woman doing the haka in the New Zealand Parliament recently as a protest against the changing the treaties, that was just phenomenal. There's so much more of that coming, but I'm saying it now because I know at 61, and I've known this for about 2 or 3 years, and this is why I need to free myself up from running a big community which is joyously getting bigger, but it's no longer up to me to plan my life. For 10 years, I've planned my life around the meeting so I could be there in person. And it's just not for me anymore. I've got other things to do because it's the age where I need to be free to do what I really need to do. Because I honestly feel that even though I've had a career since I was 20 when I started my nursing, I really feel that in planetary terms and also creating this new age, this is the most important decade of my career where I can make the biggest difference to the most people just by sharing my wisdom.
Which is incredible. And I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing your light, sharing your energy, your capabilities, and definitely your wisdom. That's incredible.
And that applies to all of us, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, something else I've written down because it was so huge. This came from my mentor, who also has British heritage. And she asked me, how much of my time am I concerned about being a bother to other people?
Yeah,
Right?
that's a deep question.
Okay, so on a 1 to 10, 10 being all the time, 1 being never, what would you say, Becky? Mine was an 8 out of 10.
I'd say a 7.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot. And the truth is, it probably isn't that at all, is it? If you were to ask everybody in your life, they would say something way lower than that.
Right, okay. Well, that's a woman thing. It's a British thing. And it's, it's a woman thing and it's a British thing. But it's also worldwide. My American friends would agree to that, I'm sure. And so what comes with that is this energy of, I really want to send an email out, but I sent an email out to my list 2 days ago. I don't want to be a bother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really struggling. I haven't got much energy. I used to run all my own groups, and until one of the women one day just said, Rosemary, you're really not well. Why don't we just run it for you? But it was just that, I don't want to ask it. Yeah. And now I'm handing it over. Because it's that time, women are coming up and I'm saying, would you like to run the groups? Oh, I'd love to. But I needed to ask.
Yeah.
I need to, would you like to do this? And not for all of them, some of them, but I've definitely needed to hang out and say, I think there's something amazing here. This can really help you grow by running groups together. Coming in and running these lovely groups, bringing heart-centered business women together in a safe space where everyone can be seen and heard. And sometimes they get a bit fed up when you ask them to move on. They think you've interrupted them, but hey, we have to be, as my friend has described it, I have to be in my Leo to run a meeting, which is kind of when you're in your feminine, but you've got that masculine bit as well. So you can, and I always set it up at the beginning of the meeting. If I'm going to ask permission now to interrupt you if we need to move on in interests of the meeting, and they all have to agree to that. They don't necessarily like it, but that's when we can be in our, excuse me, in our masculine and our feminine at the same time. I did some work with the rose recently, so you've got the white rose of the masculine, the red of the feminine, and they come together to the beautiful pink. And after I did that, I could see pink roses everywhere. It's this symbol of beauty, but the strength of the rose and the aroma and the whole thing it symbolises is us coming together where the white and the red come together. Glastonbury's the same way. You've got the white spring and the red spring and they come together.
Yeah.
Where the tall Addiswell Gardens are, which is the heart centre of our universe, Glastonbury Tor. So the symbolism is everywhere. But yes, being a bother. Ask yourself, am I scared of being a bother? It's enormous. And it's, being a bother by asking for me, asking my lovely VA lady to do something, particularly when she's maybe not been well, or can I ask her another thing? Yes, you ask, and then it's up to them to say, no, I can't do that. But I think also, I know this for me, I've been really, as I said, my rejection thing has come up hugely, which can stop you having those conversations. And it's come up for me. I'm a female leader and I need to have those conversations.
Yeah, again, because you don't want to be rejected. You don't want someone to say to you, yes, you are being a bother. No, I can't do what you need. The likelihood is so low, isn't it? Especially if someone's got the ability to accept and hold their own boundaries as well. As you say, take an example of your VA, you know, if she's got her own boundaries, she'll be able to tell you, sorry, I can't do that right now. Or yes, but it's not that you're a bother. It's that she's got her own thing going on.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful question, that though. I would be really curious as to what all the people listening to this episode said their number was as well. Because I mean, ours were quite high. I mean, an 8 is really high, isn't it? You know, like a 7 is pretty there. I'd be very curious to see what everyone else thought when they heard you say that, because we've got a high volume of female listeners on the podcast. So yeah, I would be very curious, guys, if you want to get in touch and let us know. And I'll definitely let Rosemary know as well, because it's a tough question to answer, honestly, as well.
And mine wouldn't be an 8 now. It'd be more like a 2 to 3, because that was back in August when I started working with someone. But it was a catalyst for really turning my business around. And I described, and this is another real thing I'd love to share. It's same woman, Jennifer Longmore, who's now Mother Malia, said there's a proper codependency, particularly between single women and our business. And I've been pretty much single constantly since about 2008, 2009. I've lived by myself since 92. And that's not unusual these days. I've got married friends who don't live with their husband. And yeah, it's and so for me to excuse me, release part of my business, particularly when I've created a community, a family, and I'm kind of at the centre of it, and I'm getting people say, I wouldn't be the same, it won't be the same without you. Won't be the same without you. Not my problem. But it's taken me, I would say, since we're now in the beginning of December, aren't we? It's taken me since the middle of August to turn it around, because it's been like, that is my aircraft hangar, and I've had to literally turn it 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Change direction. And so when you do have these big decisions to make, it's not instant, is it? It's and when we want to help, we want to leave we want to leave something that people can still enjoy, don't we, as well? And there's that can be an enormous sense of responsibility around your business as well. And for me, it's been the honesty of, no, this isn't working for me anymore, and maybe somebody else would like to take it on and run. And then there's all that, got to find the right, the other, that self-talk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so maybe it's applying, anyone who's listening, maybe it's applying to you somewhere in your life as well. It's and coming back to self, I think. Now, what is good for me, and what's keeping my peace? What's keeping the peace, and what's helping me be peaceful? And running all these groups is no longer giving me a peaceful life.
But it could for someone else, couldn't it? I mean, you know, in the bigger picture, it's good for you, and it could be good for whoever takes it as well. You know, that could now be part of their journey. That's their evolution. You know, it's it's absolutely beautiful. It really is, that you've listened and you've honed in on everything that you've kind of felt, and you've been downloading, and it's all there telling you what you need to do, as you said, for your peace, not to keep the peace.
And it has taken me really, really taking time out to be quiet every day. I don't do it every day. Sometimes I'm just too busy, and sometimes it's kept me awake. I went to the most beautiful, peaceful place on Dartmoor. Hardly slept for 2 nights. Really interesting, just that. But I came back and I put my house on the market following day. Yeah, and the other thing I must recommend that's been enormously helpful is reading Miranda Hart's new book.
I said to you that I was listening to that, didn't I? Yeah.
Yes, and for a woman who's been so successful on the outside, but basically then had to spend 10 years in bed, and took 35 odd years to get diagnosed with Lyme's disease, and no one would have known that from her. And this book is so beautifully thought out and researched, and there's so much humour. And I sat there on Monday morning after I'd ridden back from Dartmoor and just did a couple of the exercises in there. And I just thought, I need to sell. And I've been going around the houses about this for at least a year, but it gave me that clarity of, this is right for me. And also, I think we can get so caught up now if you're lucky enough to have your own home in this day and age. I was talking to a friend about it yesterday. There's so much fear around letting anything go and trusting yourself and trusting, your guidance, that there is something else there for you. And particularly where I live, I'm lucky enough to live in a very affluent place. I inherited this place. My great aunt lived here till she was 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she bought it in 1976, lived it till she was 100, and then my dad was there. And then I had to come back to self and say, you know what? All they want is for me to be happy. And I went under my bed to get something this morning, and this box came up. I had no idea what it was doing under my bed. Opened it up, thought, what's this about? It says, what's that doing there? Caroline. A brooch with Caroline on it. Caroline was my great aunt who lived here.
Oh, wow. Is that an elephant?
An elephant with Caroline on it.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and just these little signs that, we're with you. We don't care. We'll be with you wherever you go, if you like.
Yeah.
And you can get so stuck in that, what that, as you said, people think. And maybe not everyone listening's like this, but I know I am. That my goodness, that self-talk is so blooming powerful. To give yourself, it was recommended to me to literally set the timer on my phone for 21 minutes and just sit there, breathing, being quiet, just for 21 minutes, once a day or whenever you can, and then maybe just afterwards just write down any notes of what comes up. It has been gold dust. One of the things that came up for me was identity, and it was just, and that was so big, and that was why I was finding it difficult to let Winning Women go, because I had this beautiful identity as a nurse. I loved being a nurse, but 3 weeks after I qualified, I was told because I had eczema, I wasn't fit to nurse. So my career literally ended like that. It kind of sustained me a little bit in different capacities and gave me some huge gifts over the next 10 years. But then I went on, and because it was giving me a push, because I needed to go and study business. And so I ended up on a boyfriend who was born in the same hospital as me at the same time, turned up in my life, and he filled in the forms for me to go and do a business degree, and I got accepted. That was a complete gift. And then he went, never saw him again. He dropped me off at Birmingham University, disappeared, never saw him again, never heard from him. Yeah. And then I qualified from that, and I booked to go on a massage course as a holiday, and sitting there on the first morning, meditating, looking at Dartmoor, homecoming. This is it. And I put my hands on someone and saw them melt in front of my eyes. And it was just the biggest ever homecoming. So just that, that when you look back and you draw the dots, don't you, between the guidance. And I was given the beautiful experience of nursing with all the richness. And then I was given this experience. And there were other invites along the way. I'm a projector, human design, so I respond best to invites. And when I look back across my life, all the best decisions have been an invite. Someone's rung me up and said, we're a physio clinic. We really want someone who comes in and does massage. You're a nurse, aren't you? Would you come and work with us? And I'll go down there and the job's mine before I've walked in the door almost. Yeah. Totally transforming, and just being, and just the beauty of that, that path, isn't it? Where you join the dots when you look back, and there's this lovely, lovely kind of river of light coming through, and it has taken you, and we've fought it all the way. And when my poor little hands have been bandaged and I haven't been able to work as a therapist, and it's just, oh my goodness, we're here again. What do I need to do now? And then I'll go and find another therapy, which is absolutely beautiful, that teaches me new lessons. And then I can't do that one, and then there's something else. And but that's trusting self, isn't it? And guidance, as we were saying, and trying to fight it for too long before you say yes, before you start turning that aircraft carrier that is you.
Well, yeah, we're so accepting of looking back in hindsight and going, oh, that's why all those dots connected up, and that's why that happened. But generally speaking, people kind of reject it in the moment when those really weird things kind of come to you, and you sort of think, oh, like it's kind of pushing me in this direction. It doesn't make sense. Instead of trusting it and just going, okay, well, I'm just going to go over here and do this, you kind of reject it and say, no, that doesn't make sense. But we're okay with it if we look back at it and kind of accept it from that angle. I think it's more a matter of just accepting that this year I've noticed this huge awakening in people that are kind of getting these new downloads themselves. They're starting to hear these messages, see these messages, these synchronicities and everything else that's kind of guiding them along the way. And I think that would probably be my biggest take from this year, is if you see it, you feel it, just trust it and kind of go with it. Give it a shot, because you never know what the reason is, you know.
Yeah. And maybe if in doubt, set your phone for 21 minutes, take some breaths, close the door. I'm here. Mum, don't disturb Mum for 21 minutes. I know it's difficult. And then just see what comes, and then maybe journal out, okay, what's going on here?
Why 21 minutes? Is there a
I don't know.
reason?
I follow an amazing man called Stuart Pearce, who channels the angels of Atlantis, who have got very, very vocal lately. And he's a credible guy. He became mute as a child. He's got this incredible voice that sounds like this. And his first ever voice coaching student was Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He got asked by a colleague who said his mum had just died, and I've got this woman who wants some voice coaching. Not my thing. Can you take it over? Oh, yeah, sure. What's the address? 10 Downing Street. Yeah. So he said he used to teach her to bowl her voice down the corridor, bowl, so people would actually listen to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because believe me, I grew up with Thatcher. You did not listen to her lightly. And the other person who he's quite famously helped was Princess Diana, after she'd done that interview.
Okay.
Because she felt she hadn't presented herself well, and she worked with Stuart to find her voice, which is why she became the most phenomenal public speaker. And so he channels these angels of Atlantis. He has done since the August 1987, which was a real massive turning point on the planet. And it's one of the things that I listen to them regularly. They've got very, very vocal lately. They've kind of trained him for 40 years to be their voice. And they channel the most amazing love and gentle suggestions, and really honouring us. Things like you have no idea how loved and honoured you are as being humans on Earth at this time. You know, you're doing an amazing job. Everyone who isn't on Earth is absolutely in awe of you. Feel that, please. Feel that love, feel that honour in your bodies, and share this, please. Just from a very, very humble place. And so I listen to everything he kind of broadcasts, and some of the interviews he does are amazing, with real proper light leaders who are doing the most fantastic transformational work on the planet. And so that, the 21 minutes came from them.
Amazing.
And it's manageable.
It's absolutely wonderful. It was more a curiosity, because I mean, there's obviously such a specific number. There must be a fabulous reason sort of behind that amount of time just in silence. I'm definitely going to give it a go, though. I'm not great at meditation. I'm not really good at that. I can't keep my brain quiet enough, but
don't worry about that. Just be by yourself in quiet for 21 minutes and just don't judge. And sometimes you'll fall asleep. Sometimes your mind will go bonkers. That is all good. It shows you're human. But it's giving you that time for you, but also it's saying to your guides, your angels, your channel, your higher self, your subconscious, whatever it is, I'm here and I'm listening. I'm going to spend these 21 minutes, I'm open, it's listening. And then don't judge if nothing comes through, because what you're doing is you're giving your beautiful brain a rest.
Yeah.
My goodness, in this world, we need a rest. We're so surrounded by, well, you name it, aren't we? EMF and people and opinions and TV and stuff that's telling us that all sorts of stuff that we really don't need to believe.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Definitely with you on that one. Oh, well, Rosemary, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so, so much. Hopefully everyone out there really enjoyed everything. And as always with these guest appearances, I will pop everything about Rosemary and everything that she is up to and her website and all of her details on the episode synopsis. And until then, I'd love to say thank you very, very much for chatting with us today and for your beautiful guidance. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And to all of you out there, take care until next time.
Thank you, Becky, and thank you everyone for listening. It's been a joy.
Thank you so much.
Please come and find me if you want to stay in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.